to talk about my ayahuasca ceremony. This is part 2 of day 6. So we already did the tooch. And then that was like at 12:30. Hi. So we had time to rehydrate. And at that point, we couldn't eat anything else. So leading up to the ayahuasca ceremony, it is suggested that you cut out all caffeine, like the crappy sugars, crappy food, alcohol, marijuana, any other drug use, sex, masturbation, anything physically that you can cut out that's not good for you is something that you want to cut out before you do ayahuasca. I suggest, as long as you can, but I really only did like 2 weeks. No alcohol, no coffee, no meat. You can have like seafood, I believe. No pork, no steak, chicken's okay. Yeah. So, that was like, I did that like 2 weeks before, and then, I did that sweat lodge thing, so I think that helped a lot, getting some things out. And then, it was just like a lot of like rehydrating. So I didn't sleep well the entire time here, like since I got to the forest, like tossing and turning. So like something energetically and mentally was going through my mind. And then after that took ceremony, the sweat box, we all actually had really bad headaches, like right here, like so bad, like it was hard to sit down, stand up, walking around, like it just feel like a lot of pressure right here. It was super dehydrating, and that I was like, wow, what is going on? So the ayahuasca ceremony was at 7 p.m. So we all met in the lobby, and then we had to walk down the mountain to the maestro. That's his name, maestro. That's what you call the spiritual person that leads the ceremony. We walked down with Meta, who is a translator and also has a lot of gifts as far as like between this world and the spiritual world. I'm getting actually a reading with her tomorrow. But she was there. She doesn't do the ayahuasca with us, but she's there to kind of help us while we're on the medicine, is what they call it, during the ceremony. And so she took us down the mountain to the owner of this resort's house. And there's this big white padded dome that we go in, and each of us has like a bed on the floor. It's like this huge soft cot on the floor with pillows and blankets. We each have our own space. There are buckets for us to purge into, because it does happen. And we stay there the night. So we got down there at 7. I believe the ceremony started at 7:30, and the ceremony ended at about 2 a.m. or 2:30. And then we stay overnight, and then we had breakfast in the morning at 8 a.m. And then we come back up the mountain. I wasn't aware of any of that, but it was the best case scenario, because it is quite an interesting journey to be on the medicine. It was all so beautiful. Everyone finds their seat, and they explain a little bit about the medicine, that it's best to stay in the ceremony space, which was like that dome. There are bathrooms there that actually, like an actual flushing bathroom. You can't flush any toilet paper down the toilet paper here, but it was nice to have an actual like bathroom with a sink that you can kind of go back and forth from. But you really want to stay like in the ceremony space. So normally and it was like a low ball or high ball or like whiskey glass, I would say. It's like a large shot of this ayahuasca, and it's like a drink. And we each got one that we took together, And then you drink that, and then you kind of like relax. They're singing, they're playing music. There is a song that they sing that enhances it and kind of helps it work. And then Meta would go around and check on everyone to see how everyone was doing, like if they felt anything. And after an hour, if you didn't feel anything, they would offer you another glass. I didn't feel anything after an hour, so I took another glass. Like maybe half of us did. And then, again, I was kind of sleeping because I was so freaking tired. It was finally time for me to sleep, but I think that was my rest time that I needed because I had a bunch of purging that had to be done. So after that, drank the second one, waited again. Meta came around again, and she was like, how about now? Do you feel anything? I was like, I don't feel anything. My ego kicks in, and I'm like, this is crap. Like, I paid a bunch of money to do this ayahuasca. Nothing's happening. Bad mistake because I got, like, bitch slapped. So, anyways, I asked for a third, which usually does not happen. And as soon as I got my third, I don't know if it kicked in immediately or what happened, but I immediately started purging through the back door, we'll say. But it was great because I haven't really been able to do that either here since I've been here. So I was going to the bathroom nonstop until it was like it was insane, to the point where I was okay, but I was crawling back into the ceremony and had to lay down on the ground before going back into the ceremony space. And Meta came out and the maestro came out and he performed a healing on me because at that point it was like so much was coming out of me physically. I needed a little assistance from him, and he like rubbed this special things all over my face, rubbed these things on my stomach, and he was doing this healing. He was like doing that to both my forehead and my stomach, like sucking whatever it was in my body that needed to be purged. Yes, I was physically purging that way, but I also had some things I needed to purge, and I needed assistance with getting out because it was so much. So after he did that, it was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And as I was laying there and he was healing me, like the stars, it just looked like I was in like a solitarium, like where you see all of the constellations. And it was just so beautiful. So I get back into the ceremony, I lay down, and again, the music is just like so like moving everything and intensifying the whole ceremony and the way the medicine is working. It's so beautiful, and I see I'm seeing like, so you just see everything, seeing so many beautiful things. And what I was seeing was peacock feathers. Like the eye on the peacock feathers was just like everywhere. Like even when Meta would come around and check on us, I'm like, I'm good now, I feel it. When she would come and check on us, and I'd be like, okay, and I'm like, she had like a peacock eye like right here, and she had this beautiful like white dress on that was like flowing everywhere. It was amazing. But then there was a woman that was talking to me, and she had this big long guitar, and she was playing it, and it was all over the peacock. Like then the peacock feathers then like turned to white, and it was all of this. She's playing this music, and she's telling me like, you're not done purging, you're still hanging on to things. And I was like really scared at that point. I'm like, I don't know what else I can purge. Like I don't know what I'm purging, right? Like my physical body's purging one way, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna throw up. Because as you're in the ceremony, like that's like the most common way to purge, is that you're throwing up, which is incredible because I was so detoxing for so long, and that day I was fasting, so I don't know what the hell I was going to purge anymore, that because everything was out of my body. I was drinking water during the ceremony, so I listening to her, and she's telling me, why are you waiting? You just need to purge, like let it go, why are you waiting? And at that point I felt like just really sick, like the flu sick. Like, I don't want to do this, just get it out. Like the worst feeling ever, right? Like you get really hot, like you have a fever, like just the worst feeling ever. Okay, so I had to put pants on because I'm freezing and the bugs are biting me. So I was this woman that kept coming to me and telling me to let go and just give in to the medicine and purge and let it go. She just kept coming to me and telling me to do that. And it's scary, you felt like really, really sick. Like I felt like I had the flu and I just wanted to throw up. I knew I had to. I knew I had one more like throw up to come. I had one huge one, one way, and I knew I had to do more the other way. And so she kept encouraging me. She's like, I don't know why you're waiting. Like, I don't know why you're waiting. Like, just do it and get it over with. And I was like, okay. And I went to the bucket and tried to puke, and it just wasn't coming out. It just couldn't. And at that point, I started yelling, like, come out, why won't you come out? I just want you to be out. At this point, too, everyone else was kind of done purging, so it was like I was the final one to get all my purging done. But I had a lot to purge, and that's okay, because it's been, like, built up of years. It's almost like getting your oil changed. Like, you have to go do it so often. And I have never had my oil changed like this before. So I'm waiting, I'm trying, I'm getting angry and frustrated that it won't come out. And finally, Meta and the maestro came over and they did another healing on me there. And he's like, you are strong, just let it go. Did the same thing, finally let go. And it was just, there was white golden light everywhere, white feathers around me, protecting me. There was a spirit with me the entire time that actually was someone that I know. Grandfather was with me. I've never met him because he died way before I was even a thought. He was someone's grandfather that I know, and I knew his spirit before then, but he was with me the entire time. There were other spirits with me as well, and they all have messages that I had to deliver. They gave me messages to deliver to the people here on Earth, which is just wild. But yeah, so I finally finished my final purges thanks to Meta and the maestro. His name was Orlando. And finally I'm floating. And then he finally announces everyone's floating now, and we were floating. It was so beautiful. The purges were beautiful, even though physically they were rough, and that was a rough road for me. But it's been a rough road for me the last 16 years, and it was so beautiful. Nothing matters, right? All these little things in this humanly world that we're worried about don't matter. They don't. And this medicine helps you purge the things you don't need mentally and physically. Not so much physically, but mentally. You carry around and have so much weight on your body that you don't realize. And helps you let them go. You set an intention, which I forgot to mention before you go, and mine was being able to love without losing myself, and becoming detached to outcomes, and living more in the now. And I've been trying to, that was kind of like the final hurrah for me, and it's getting me there. And once we were done, he was playing more and more music, enjoying, and we were just all enjoying floating and loving, and just sitting in my little area on my bed, and it was just so beautiful. So as soon as the ceremony was over, everyone's pretty much sleeping at this point on their mats. It's 3 a.m, and I am wide awake. And I get my notebook and I just start writing all the messages that I received during this trip and during that ceremony. And I have like 4 or 5 pages of just notes that I couldn't even see, because it was black. Inside there was no lights, and I wrote, and it's all legible, it's all wild. So these people know, the spirits that came to me and the ones that I have to deliver messages to know, and I'm going to keep that private and to myself. The things that I've learned during these 2 ceremonies and with the medicine are things I like to keep myself, but I think it's really important to share what an ayahuasca experience is like, and not to be afraid, because most people are afraid, but it's really that you're just afraid of the things that you're going to have to purge and let go of, and admit to that you have to purge and let go of. And once you do, it's so beautiful. It's been such a life-changing experience. I would absolutely do it again. It was almost similar to a birth. all of the pains and things. I mean, birth is way more painful. Way more painful. And, but like you go through, you have to breathe through the tough moments, right? And you become, breathe through the tough moments, and at the end it's so beautiful when you finally have this like soul that was in your body, earth side. So it's kind of similar to that. Like there's a lot of things you have to push through in pain to get to that beautiful part of your birth with your child. And this was kind of very similar, it felt to me a little bit. It was so beautiful. Like I said, I would absolutely do it again. And I think that with each time you do it, now you're more aware, you know what to expect with the experience, and maybe, you're getting out deeper things, or maybe it all depends. It all depends on Mother Ayahuasca. And for me, mine, or maybe, I don't know if there's another woman, but it was mainly the woman with the white peacock. So after we get back, I come back and I start to Google white peacock feathers, Google white peacock feathers, guitar, woman, goddess, spirit, and there is one. It's just wild, because as soon as I typed those in, she came up in the Google search. Her name is Saraswati, Hindu. I know nothing about Hindu. I knew nothing about this woman beforehand, but this is the one that was with me and came to me. And she is the goddess of the highest reality, which is weird. Highest spiritual and reality, something like that, of knowledge, truth, honesty. Like, you can go look her up. It's so beautiful and so wild. So I had been thinking about getting a tattoo while I was here, and there's been the number 3 that has kept coming up to me. And that's what's weird, because I'm a very much number 4 person, but I did end up, that's the ring I got to, end up getting like the 3 dots on my finger, but I also did get, I can't really see too well, I'll have to show, on my, this is her symbol. And yeah, I think if anyone has the opportunity to do it, do it. I hope to do it again, now that I'm more experienced and prepared. And it's just beautiful. I'm so thankful for Jess for planning this trip, because I don't know how I would have accessed it or been, I don't know. I'm just so thankful for this experience, for the people that were there with me that did it. So thankful for the maestro and Meta for helping me through the process. I mean, she was cleaning my purge bucket for me, holding my hand and encouraging me. So it's just, I would encourage you as well. And it's so beautiful. So beautiful.